No,
Walking up
I
and down
never
the
heard of
Dixon.
Dana Carvey when I
No,
first heard
what-
the song.
Yeah, but
This
you
was
know,
the
Wayne's World.
soundtrack to my life in dark,
Yeah, so-
smoky apartments in 1960, in the fall of
And
1967.
another unwritten chapter.
Yeah, and it was definitely a purple haze. And there were some sweet little love makers. I wasn't ready
Stop
for
it.
them.
Stop it.
Wasn't ready for them then.
Stop
I
it.
was a slow starter. All right, it's time for Rockin' Company's Rockin' CU, brought to you by the family-owned and operated in Colorado, 5 decades, 2 generations, historic and modern masons, general contractors, Builder with Rock, Builder with Rockin' Company, rockandco.com. We welcome in the publisher of BuffStampede.com. I liked it last week when we heard it through the grapevine before Adam came on with us. Adam Munster Tiger. Welcome, Adam.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing swell?
Hey, Adam. Before Michael gets to the technical stuff, I just got to ask you big picture. A couple of hosts on the show earlier yesterday pointed out that Art Briles would be a great guy to bring in for CU, and I laughed out loud when I heard that. How ludicrous is that idea?
No, I mean, that's just not going to fly up in Boulder. I can definitely tell you that. Thinking Art Briles probably is going to have to step away here for a year or so and then kind of have to go to a small school. He's definitely not going to get an opportunity at a Power 5 school at this point in time.
What went on?
Anytime in the near future.
This is the hot-button issue in all of sports next to CTE.
And what's gone on at Baylor, I mean, is
we should fill people in what happened.
Yeah, okay. You can read about it. Multiple rape allegations and cover-ups and all that.
Sexual assault convictions,
it's just
trials.
What's absurd, it's if you go look back to what happened under Gary Barnett at CU, that stuff was peanuts compared to what's gone on at Baylor. And Gary Barnett got blackballed. So how's Art Briles ever going to be a big-time college football coach again? He just won't.
Going to have to, again, kind of disappear for a while. And, people will kind of forget, and then he'll go to a small school and then have, he'll have a second chance, but definitely not at a big school.
He has the chance to do like things like Bob Knight did for Norm Ellenbarger down in New Mexico, who did far less than the Baylor program is accused of, with the systemic ignoring of sexual assaults and against co-eds on campus, and even threats of retaliation for those who reported players because they were football players involved. Art Briles has the chance, and everyone in America gets this chance, to have somebody with a bigger name. He's a Christian university. His daughter's already screaming about that he is a religious, devout fellow who would never countenance any of these things. To have some bigger name take him under their wing, make him the offensive coordinator or the wide receivers coach, and in 2 years say, this guy is straight and narrow, he's active in our Christian club, he's done this and that, and totally rehabilitate his image and say it wasn't art, it wasn't art, it was a bad culture overall. Kenneth Starr still at Baylor. That wouldn't fly at CU. Private university, though, they can get away with a lot of stuff that a public university
You're painting
couldn't.
the Bobby Petrino picture, which makes perfect sense. But the whole thing, first of all, assuming that there's going to be a coaching change in Boulder is ludicrous. To me, why would you assume that right now?
I would assume that, Adam, let's get to our first topic because it plays right into a coaching change in Boulder. The over-unders are out. We were having lunch down at Zadie's, eating that great deli meat down there at First and Adams, and you said over-unders are out, and Colorado's number is?
It's at 4.5, so the way Vegas thinks, there might be a potential for a coaching change in Boulder.
Is that a product of the schedule?
A little bit. You play at Michigan, and their over-unders 10, so they're obviously expected to be one of the better teams in the country. Obviously, the Pac-12 year in and year out is a tough gauntlet. There are 2 teams, Cal and Oregon State, that actually rank below Colorado in terms of over-under. Cal 4, which is kind of ironic given the whole Davis Webb saga.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Oregon State 3.5. Honestly, if I was setting the line, I'd probably put it at more like 5 or 5.5. I think it's pretty close, but I would go slightly above that at this point in time. We'll see how Cepho, Lufau, and there's a lot of factors in camp that'll make my prediction a little bit stronger, but I don't think that's too far off. Colorado State was 5.5, so they're kind of in that same realm.
Yeah, what a shame for Colorado fans and the team, I think, probably too, that they don't play Cal this year. And Davis Webb, Cal,
especially in Boulder,
with an over/under of 4, lower than CU,
That's crazy.
even with Davis Webb. I mean, go figure that one out. A lot of talk about Colorado on national television right now. Announcers making a big point of saying that Andre Robertson from the Oklahoma City shooting guard, which is a misnomer in some ways, stands still shooting threes, but does everything else, especially play defense, really helping that team. from the University of Colorado. And you got him, you got Corey Higgins, you have Alec Burks, who's a good NBA player. You've got certainly Josh Scott going into this year's draft with a chance to be drafted, certainly a chance to play in the league. How much impact does this have, having NBA players like these guys, or has it had? Spencer Dinwiddie in the developmental league still made a big mistake leaving early, in my opinion. How much impact has that had on Colorado and the success up there?
Well, it's tough to quantify a little bit. When you talk to recruits about, hey, what's important to you, what's going to make this decision for you, you're going to hear coaches, winning, environment, the conference the team plays in, facilities, academics. I think those are all things that are going to weigh more heavily into a recruit's decision. But, there's no question that Tad Boyle will tell every recruit thereafter, hey, in a span of 4 years, we had 3 guys leave early for the NBA draft, and he supported those guys. Even maybe a couple times he was gritting his teeth, maybe didn't agree with the decision, but he always supported his players publicly. And, like an example would be Tyler Bay, who's one of their top 2017 recruits. I've talked about him on your show. He's got Colorado and San Diego State among his top schools right now. San Diego State is saying, hey, come here, you can be, the next Kawhi Leonard. And so it helps Colorado to be able to combat that and say, hey, look, be our next Andre Robertson. There's no question that it's a nice poker chip to have, but again, I don't think that's necessarily the number one reason they're going to get a recruit or not get a recruit.
To me, I would think the biggest thing that Colorado should and could say is 4 times in the last 5 years we're an NCAA tournament team, and that's the kind of success. And in fact, we have the under-recruited guys getting drafted.
And we've won the Pac-12.
Not the big names.
We've won the Pac-12. Yeah, absolutely. That is the number one recruiting.
I would think that's number one. What do you see?
Yeah, no, without question. Especially when you talk about getting to the NCAA tournament, it's such a large stage to be on, and a player that thinks he's going to the NBA is going to be confident that if he gets an opportunity in a winning program, he's going to get noticed more so than him going, well, they got good players drafted before, so I should follow in their footsteps. I think it's basketball players are pretty confident usually, especially if they have the ability to eventually be an NBA guy. So, yeah, again, I think the winning thing would definitely trump anything in terms of guys in the NBA. But, again, it's nice. And you put up all these murals of these guys in the NBA around your facilities, and you tour these recruits around. It definitely, it's a bonus on the recruiting trail for sure.
Sticking with the recruiting on the basketball for a second, certainly Buff Stampede is my CU Buff source of record. We try to be a little bit that way on the show. So to finish up an earlier topic, when the 7-footer transferring from Drake Olenichek chose Ole Miss, we never followed up and said, is there anybody else on the radar? Is there another recruit coming this year or not?
Yeah, there's a good chance the Buffs are going to bank that open scholarship for 2017, but I've been told that they're always exploring options, and they're actually trying to get in with Kentucky transfer Marcus Lee, but at this point in time, it sounds like Marcus Lee will most likely want to go home and transfer again to Cal coming up here again. They've got an open scholarship now. Of course, Cal was also trying to get Olenichek as well. So they're still exploring some options here. And Tad Boyle has shown in the past that he will take a guy late. But it's kind of this thing where they'll bring in a guy late if they feel like they can help Colorado, but they also are not opposed to banking that scholarship to next year, which would give them 5 for the class of 2017.
Well, the way Tad Boyle's teams run, and he likes them to run, Marcus Lee here would be just a terrific get. That kind of athletic, run the court, power forward type play in Tad Boyle's athletically oriented system. Got just a minute left here. I don't know if there's anything else you want to tell us about BuffStampede.com, what's coming up, or any other news items we didn't cover today.
Well, camp season's about to kick off for Colorado. They'll be out at some of these satellite camps now that ruling got overturned, and they're also going to have 2 camps up in Boulder. So we're going to start getting some more camp coverage here coming up in the month of June.
Another fallout from the Davis Webb situation could be a lack of numbers in quarterbacks up at CU. Let's get to that next week. He's Adam Munster Tiger. Thank you, Adam.
Hey, Adam.
Thanks, guys.
It's at AdamCM777 is his Twitter, and that's Rockin Company's Rockin CU. Historic modern masons, 5 decades, 2 generations in Colorado. General contractors, build it with rock. Build it with Rockin Company, rockandco.com.